Hey, what's up, studs? And on this episode of Ask MandR, we're going to be talking about early LEGO set retirement, Jyn Erso, the potential biggest LEGO Star Wars set flop of 2024, and much more. If you have a question or topic for next week, leave in the comments section below, hit the like there, and let's get into it with our first question from Noxstrom, who says, why is LEGO retiring the Ghost early? It's a desirable set, and for one with that price, a one-year run seems very short. So I suppose the current rumor is that the Ghost will retire at the end of 2024. I honestly haven't even looked into what's retiring this year yet to make my video. It's a little early, honestly, for me to do that, but I'll just assume that's what's happening. And so that would give it about a 14-month run on shelves or on Amazon.com and LEGO store shelves, because it's just an Amazon exclusive basically. But I feel like 14 months is definitely on the shorter end of lifespans, but it's far from the shortest that we've ever seen. The Snowspeeder 20th anniversary set, I think the Slave one as well, 20th anniversary set, definitely the Snowspeeder though, retired after 8 months. So this is not, unheard of levels of short shelf life. I think it's 2 Christmas cycles, which is basically what LEGO's definitely going to want to get out of a set that comes out the previous summer. And I do think 14 months is more than enough time for anyone that wants it to be able to get it. It's not like it's consistently sold out or anything. It's perfectly available right now. I'm sure anyone that wants it could go buy it. And so I don't see it as too short of a shelf life at all. I don't really think anything of it. Is it a little shorter than maybe normal? Yeah, but it doesn't strike me as completely abnormal or crazy like the 8-month Snowspeeder that retired, There will always be sets that go longer, always sets that go shorter, but it seems like the Ghost just got the short end of the stick, literally and figuratively. Big news came out this week, and Sarlacc has a question about it. He says, went down the road of wondering how LEGO could mess up Jedi Bob. He's probably not coming with the cape, right? Recent Jedi starfighters haven't had capes, and Kenobi's newest starfighter, he had his robes just printed on. Just a thought. So potentially, I suppose that could be an issue. I mean, Jedi Bob certainly is iconic with the cape, and it would not be the same without it. But again, I think when it comes to things that aren't clone troopers, LEGO generally does a pretty bang-up job. It's pretty well represented in all of my reviews, all of the content that you may have watched from me. I'm generally overly positive about many other things that aren't clone troopers because LEGO does have a clone trooper problem, whether you want to believe it or not. Jedi Bob isn't a clone trooper, so honestly, I'm just not that worried about it. The rumor is that he's going to have yellow skin. Yellow skin is what I think it should be. Yellow skin is what I think the majority of the community would think it should be. And there is a rumored second figure. There's a chance it's an astromech droid. A chance. Don't know anything. But it could also be an updated skin tone version of Jedi Bob, which would be pretty cool to have both in the same set. So, there's a lot of things that I think could come out of that set. The cape thing I'm not worried about. I'm pretty positive they'll give him a cape. It might be the softer, newer cape, which wouldn't be the same as the old one, but whatever. It's a cape's a cape as long as it looks the same. Basically, it will just be, feel a little bit different. It won't, like some of the Darth Vader ones recently, I think have had the harder cloth, style, but still, if you use the soft one, you can just fold it up really easily on the figure, and it's not a big deal. So I think they will not mess up Jedi Bob. I do not think LEGO has the ability to mess it up. This Jedi Bob set is very specifically existing as a make good by LEGO Star Wars for the fans because of what they did and how it made many of us feel a couple of years ago. This set doesn't exist without everything else happening, right? So it is very important to them, I'm sure, to get it right. And so from that perspective, I don't think they could possibly mess it up. Zaitan says, with the leaks of the Desert Skiff Sarlacc pit set and the potential Jabba's sail barge, how do you think they will portray Leia, if at all? The only Leia that we're getting from Tatooine ever again will be the Bouch Leia that we had the helmet version of. There's no way they will ever make Bikini Leia again. Disney, rather, won't let them. LEGO would probably on their own go ahead and do it. And I think many others are of the opinion of, if it's in the movie, you should be able to do it. Period, full stop. I mean, if it's so horrendous to Disney that you can't make a LEGO figure of it, they should cut all of the scenes out of the movie. Now, that would be a problem. We actually don't want that. But, you get my point, right? I think it's entirely ridiculous for Disney to be able to sell and profit off the movie, but you're not allowed to have a LEGO figure of the thing. That's kind of crazy to me. Just seems like a lot of, moral grandstanding and trying to make themselves look like a good company because they're saving... I don't know what they're doing. I don't really understand what the statement is. There's no rumored Leia figure at all, for that matter. Now, in the Jabba's Palace set that was rumored for last year that ended up getting canceled, there was supposed to be a Bouch Leia. But that was also appropriate for the scene. It would not be appropriate for the scene if it was the sail barge and skiff. It's also worth noting, if you look at what they did with the Coruscant Guard gunship, the designers basically said, Yeah, Padme season one's just cooler or like more iconic. And it's like, it's not like they're all kind of the same, but like, you made a gunship from season 5 of the Clone Wars. Why not use the season 5 Padme that's specific to the episode that you made the specific episode specific gunship to? If you put that same rationale to the Star Wars original trilogy movies, you could totally see them doing the white clothed Leia from like episode 4, because it's no different than what they did with Padme and the gunship. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing out ideas. And I don't think that's what they're going to do. It's not certainly not what they should do. I think the ultimate solution to Lego Star Wars not being able to make Slave Leia is not doing a Leia at all in either of those sets, which is sad because she certainly belongs. She's certainly iconic to that scene in Return of the Jedi. Takeshi B says, which of the currently rumored sets do you think will be the biggest flop of 2024, and which set do you think isn't getting enough hype? So the biggest flop, there's a couple options. Chewbacca last year was a big flop. It was $200, and there is a C-3PO that's coming out for about $150. Now, there's a chance it'll have a 25th anniversary figure, which would make it a little bit of a better buy maybe than Chewbacca as a straight up. Maybe more people will like the look of the C-3PO. The Chewbacca definitely, a lot of people thought it would look creepy, looked funny, and so I think there's a chance that maybe the C-3PO is just more liked, even though it's kind of a similar idea to Chewbacca. I just think there's a chance C-3PO is a big dud like Chewbacca was. Now, the other one that's out there is like a buildable creature, but we don't know what it is, and so if it's not like a main character or anything that like a Wampa, a Rancor, a Porg, I guess we've had a Porg, but like you get the point. If it's not like a well-known thing, there's a chance that one's a flop. Also kind of looming out there is the Skeleton Crew show and ship. If the show is a bomb, then the Onyx Crusader or whatever it's called, Cruiser, I don't remember the exact name. I know it's Onyx something. If the show bombs, though, that set would also certainly be a giant flop. So I think you have 3 pretty good contenders. It really kind of just depends on what ends up getting put in certain sets or how certain shows pan out. Now, which set is not getting enough hype? I think we've seen plenty of hype for the Jedi Bob Starfighter, plenty of hype for the Dark Side Millennium Falcon, which is a pretty epic idea. Of course, plenty of hype for the Ahsoka show battle set with Thrawn and Ezra and Ahsoka and all of that. Those figures are going to be amazing, right? But I think that people aren't seeing the Jabba's Sail Barge UCS plus Desert Skiff Sarlacc Pit combo as great as it is. That one I feel like is not getting a lot of talk. Mostly I think because a lot of the leakers are kind of hesitant to say that the UCS set will be UCS Jabba's Sail Barge when it's like pretty clearly going to be a UCS Jabba's Sail Barge. It's just not a confirmed leak according to a lot of them. But to me, it's like, yeah, it's going to be a UCS Jabba Sail Barge. That set is a great pairing. And I think that combo is going to be an all-time combo of sets. Paramime is going to tackle our very unfortunate news of the week and says, what do you think of the, in my opinion, horrible Fives figure Lego made? I personally won't be going out of my way to pick it up. Now, the Fives figure is going to come in a set that I think most people are going to want with the Tantive boarding diorama as the anniversary figure in that set. So I think a lot of people are going to end up with this figure, whether they like it or not, just because it's going to come in a set that everyone is going to like. I hope. I think it's a really good set idea. Hopefully it pans out well. But yeah, the Fives figure is an abomination. I won't show pictures on this video. I just don't want to risk it. But if you've seen it on my Twitter or Instagram, you know how bad it is. It is unquestionable that Lego Star Wars Clone Troopers have fallen off at this point. I'm tired of talking about it, frankly. Really an unfortunate situation all around, because the only way it's going to get fixed is by talking about it. And so here we are. But, eventually we'll get them to fix it. It sucks, though. It's really unfortunate. The figure's just not good. Anyone that's saying it's good is out of their mind. There's plenty of people, again, that will say, I don't care that it's bad, and I'm going to enjoy it. And that's good for you. I'm not going to hate you for that. I'm not going to give you crap, but I'm going to give Lego crap for making a crap figure once again. So that Fives is unfortunate to say the least. Now, on the other side of that, we had another big leak over the week that no one really asked a question about, but the Darth Malak is fantastic. That is a great figure. So it's crazy to see, good figure, bad figure. I'm very happy about that Darth Malak, though. I think it looks fantastic. Lego did a really, really good job with that. Zick says, what are your thoughts on the upcoming Rey movie, given all the controversy it's already bringing? Oh, man. I just don't get it. Why can't we just make good Star Wars movies that people want to watch? I don't care if the character's male, female, alien, or otherwise, and I'm pretty sure 99% of the audience falls into that bucket. I just want to watch a good Star Wars movie. I hope the Rey movie is still good. I don't know, man. The Mandalorian movie sounds cool, at least. I was like a little excited for the Rey movie until it started being about stuff that's not Star Wars, and then I'm like, I shut it all down and I just don't care. I'm like, I don't care to argue about all of that. I don't care to talk about it too much. I just want to watch a good Star Wars movie. Is it too much to ask? Disney, oh my goodness. Danny says, if LEGO stopped making original trilogy sets, would you agree or disagree with that move? That would be a hard disagree, absolutely. I don't know if you see my shelves behind me. I happen to like all of Star Wars. I know I talk very negatively about the Clone Wars stuff when it's bad. I also talk very positively about when it's good, but LEGO does a really bang-up job with a lot of the original trilogy sets. I guess it's de facto, but most of their best UCS sets are original trilogy, just by the fact that almost all of them are. I would hate if they stopped making original trilogy. Absolutely. That would be a whole big problem. Of course not. No. Yeah, don't do that. I don't know why you... Yeah, no. Bad. Lego My Ego Productions says, it seems like some content creators know leaks significantly earlier before the rest of us. There are many content creators teasing sets and leaks in the background. If they know it beforehand, why don't they leak it? Is there a pact or something else entirely? I just think it's quite weird. So... yeah, I mean, stuff trickles down through the grapevine, and one person tells another person, and that person says, hey, don't tell anyone, but, then you're excited. You know something you're not supposed to know. And then you want to give a little hint to people so that 2 weeks later you can be like, yeah, I knew. So, I'm a little guilty of it. I've done it from time to time. Sometimes when I review sets, I review them because there might be another one coming, and sometimes I just review sets, and then people are like, oh, is that a hit? And I'm like, no, I just reviewed that set, man. It's mostly because sometimes people just ask not to share, and so people will do it in a not so blatant way, but it usually happens like that. Then one little piece of information comes out, another piece of information comes out, and all of a sudden the dam breaks, and you have a whole flood of all of the summer 2024 leaks like we just did the other day. That is typically how it works, kind of behind the scenes-y, without going too much into detail. I usually just try to stick to reporting and talking about what is publicly out there at the time when I make my videos too. That's just kind of been my personal philosophy with it lately. Brody Smith cooked up a fantastic question asking, what is your favorite UCS box art style? Mine is personally the 2014 to 2017 style with the gold logo, like on the UCS Slave 1. I feel like I have to agree with you. I feel like they've really hit their stride there, and especially a set like the Slave 1. The art on there is so beautiful. I really like what LEGO has done with the black boxes. I think it's a really good marketing thing. I think it is unique in its own way, and it sets the product apart. But in the same breath, it's hard to ignore how gorgeous sets like a UCS gunship could look on a box where you have this beautifully made Geonosis box art, or a set like the UCS AT-AT in Hoth, and part of me really resents the change that they made because of that. I also really like it because of how unique it is and how different it is from what we had for the past 20 years. So I'm very mixed on it. There were some bad eras, I would say, of UCS box art, like in 2003-ish, where they were using kind of the blue style that they were using on everything. That didn't look the best, but the art underneath was sometimes pretty good. The early 2000s was probably the worst, though, where you had the black and white. I recently showed all of that in my UCS Darth Maul review. I have all 4 of them that were horrendous, which is pretty cool. So thank you guys for supporting the channel, making that possible. But yeah, they look horrible in the early days. And then there was kind of like the 2018, 2019-ish style that one basically on the UCS Y-Wing is the one that comes to mind that I thought looked particularly good, but potentially that UCS Y-Wing looks even better in the former style where you have no kind of borders on it, but it also looked really sharp with the borders. So they've done a lot of good stuff with UCS box art over the years. They've tried different things, and obviously they've now settled on the all black look that matches the entirety of LEGO's lineup. And I think if it were up to the Star Wars people, they would probably go back to, something similar to 2015, but they probably are kind of beholden to what the company as a whole wants to do for their adult-oriented products. But yeah, I think I gotta agree with your take there. 2014 to 2017 was something special. Prior to that, I guess the other era that I should mention is kind of in between there, where they would use just whatever the year's box art was. Let me just grab one. I'm staring at it the whole time. So instead of having anything that denotes it as UCS, this was just like the normal box art for 2010, and then they throw the UCS set on there, but there's no marking that it's UCS anywhere. So it's really evolved over the years. Blybrick Studio says, because Padme was using a Jyn Erso faceprint in the gunship, do you think we will get a Rogue One set in 2024, a TIE Reaper? Maybe. Unfortunately, there are no rumors of any Rogue One sets or even Andor sets in 2024. I saw another question about Andor sets and being disappointed. Same boat, buddy. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for some people, I don't know how you feel about Jyn Erso. There's no correlation here. The Jyn Erso faceprint has been used in many themes and is continuing to be used in many themes, or Star Wars and Marvel specifically from what I remember when I looked at it. But yeah, there's zero correlation. It doesn't mean we're getting anything. It doesn't not mean we're getting anything, but certainly LEGO should be making a unique Padme print. They could have already used it twice You could have used it in the set from 2023, and there's a rumored Padme figure for the Sith Infiltrator for 2024. I don't know, I'm just asking for the quality we had 10 years ago. It's kind of unfortunate that we can't get a Padme print. Bia Patique says, in your latest vlog, you and Sans brought up a point that I am personally debating with my AFOL friends at the moment. Is it ever okay to flatten Lego boxes for storage? You said it was sacrilegious, and I agree, but several of my friends who have much bigger collections agree that you should flatten boxes. What's your take on this more in depth? So, as like a general philosophy, do what you want to do. It's not hurting anyone. If you want to flatten boxes, go ahead and flatten boxes. If you don't want to flatten boxes, don't flatten boxes. If you want to throw out all your boxes, throw out all your boxes. When I'm saying like it's sacrilegious to Sans in a vlog, it's mostly just to be funny. I don't really care what other people do with their Lego boxes. I also think if you're flattening a box, and I've talked about this before, you're halfway to throwing it out, you may as well just throw it out. But I also respect like the idea that you could tape it back together very, very easily and it would be just as good as new. I just don't want to do that myself. So I have kept all of my boxes unflattened, basically. I think I have flattened a few at my parents' house when I was like really, really strapped for storage. And then, yeah, I'll have to find them in the future and show you guys. In short, do you want, but like you should probably just throw them out if you're flattening them anyway. Like, are you really going to prop them back up? At least in my case, like I look at general collectors and I'm like, you know, you're not making content on it. It's not like in the future, like I might do a box video with every UCS box and be like, this is how they've changed over the years. These are the differences. This is what they've done. These are the philosophies. I justify it to myself, maybe irrationally at times, but I at least justify it to myself. And I, to be fair, kept all of these boxes well before I was doing YouTube big time. And, you know, 2005, 2006, I've probably kept every box since then. So I totally get like just collecting the boxes to collect the boxes. But yeah, I don't know, hopefully that helps. Mind Trick Brick says, what do you think of the rumors to a Star Wars Dark Side, which sounds like a what if series? So we obviously had the rumored Dark Side Millennium Falcon, kind of an all blacked out Millennium Falcon, hopefully with red accents, like he said in his question, because it would be pretty sharp. Kylo Ren's shuttle is one of the sharpest playsets ever in that black and red scheme, and so I'm hoping the Falcon will follow suit there. You know, there's been this rumor going around on like Twitter and stuff that Star Wars is going to get a what if series, and that's really interesting. I think that'd be pretty dope. Some people think that the rumor of a what if series is solely based on the rumor of a black Lego Millennium Falcon. And if that's the case, then it probably doesn't make a lot of sense. But there was also this post by Hasbro Collectibles or Hot Toys Collectibles. I can't remember which it was. Either way, it was a collectibles page that obviously does products officially with Star Wars and Disney. And one of the slides for products they were doing in 2024 was Star Wars Dark Side. When I first saw it personally, I thought it was just a big marketing term. You know, Star Wars Dark Side, we're just going to do this whole like sub theme of stuff for the Star Wars products that we're putting out this year just because it's cool and we can. And so that's what I thought at first, but it's entirely possible that it is Star Wars' title for a what if series. A Star Wars what if series doesn't have to be called Star Wars What If. If it's called Star Wars Dark Side, then it's, I guess, the take that everything is evil in Star Wars, I guess. I don't know. But like, you could totally see that being the name of like a show where they do things as if, you know, from the dark side's perspective, as if everything was evil or something like that. And so I think a Star Wars What If series is totally on the table for this year if that is what that is. But there's the other half of me that thinks it's totally just a marketing thing because that's what I thought at first. So it's 50-50 to me, but I think the rumor is not unsubstantiated like I thought at first. It totally could be. Totally could be. And that is the last question. So thank you guys very much for watching episode 299 of Ask MandR Productions. If you guys have a question or topic for episode 300, leave me your best in the comment section below. I'll see you next week.